Hello, hello. Welcome to the second day of our challenge and how you can invest in hotels internationally. We have two special guests tonight. We have this dynamic couple, the Burdine family. We have Bruce and Kamiko, and they actually have more experience than I do when it comes to investing internationally because you know why? They actually done it. And not only have they invested internationally, but they're also developing a hotel internationally as well. And so they are going to introduce themselves. They're going to share you some do's and don'ts based off their experiences on what they had to go through to invest internationally, and maybe a little bit about some of the projects that they're working on and to answer some questions that you all may have. So give a round of applause. Woo, yay! For Bruce and Kamiko Burdine.
Hey guys, how's it going? All right, I wonder if we can share our screen. We'll go ahead and get started on our.
The host has disabled screen
We
sharing.
will share it in a second. But a little bit about us. My name is Bruce. This is my wife, Kamiko. We are both in the medical field. We both do anesthesia. But even before we even did anesthesia, we were both avid investors in real estate. Right now, we have a large portfolio in short-term rentals, medium-term rentals. We have a couple of multifamily, and we just started a couple of hotel projects.
Yeah. And all of those are US based, the original portion of our portfolio. And when the crazy stuff with COVID happened and all of the increasing interest rates, we were like, we love to travel and we love to go to different places and especially internationally. And we were like, why not expand and go to these other countries and make investments there? There's money to be made in other places.
Yeah, and the reason we're talking about international investing now is because the current atmosphere of the real estate here in the U.S., right? I mean, we're talking about interest rates. We just finished a flip here in the U.S. where our ending refinance, our mortgage rate was what,
9.25%.
and we are kind of eking out a cash flow there on our short-term rental. In comparative analysis, we're looking at we bought a house. It was 400,000 for short-term rental, but we got an amazing interest rate on it. It was 4.2 or something like that, and it wasn't even amazing at that point, but it was amazing when I got it. That mortgage is about 2,400. We just refinanced this flip, and we pulled out around 300. And the mortgage rate is 2,400. It is the exact same as it. It's $100,000 difference in house and the money that we got out of it, and it's the same mortgage rate.
Same payment.
So it's harder and harder to cash flow here in the U.S. is what we're saying. So then we started looking internationally. So we can see our screen here. Everybody can see our screen. Just let us know if you can see it. Awesome. Perfect.
Yes, awesome. Okay. Alrighty.
So we're all conditioned, right? We're all conditioned to think like we're going to invest in real estate. So what we do, we get on the MLS, we look in the US. So this is just what we do. I'm just trying to tell you that we can expand our mindset because there's real estate across the world. It doesn't have to be in the US. It can be in the Caribbean. It can be in Europe. It can be in Asia. So many opportunities in the world. So all we're trying to do is just expand the mindset a little bit, okay?
So we just kind of talked about this. So this is us. We obviously love to travel. We're Disney adults. We go there literally every year. And expanding our portfolio and doing all this stuff allows us to get the cash flow to make these trips and do the stuff that we love to do, which is travel.
So I love the movie Matrix, right? So at this moment in time, like with the interest rate so high, you got to make a choice. You got to make a choice whether you're going to try to make it in the US with these high interest rates and minimal cash flows, or you come with us and just think about and expand the mindset internationally where we can get you lower interest rates, we can get you seller financing, We can get you better cash flows. We can get you better appreciation. So if you can do those things, if you could just stay with us, we're going to show you a little bit of today, okay?
Okay, so some of the pros to investing internationally. So one of the biggest ones you're going to come across is tax sheltering, and that's one of the biggest reasons that people will often invest outside of the US. There are a lot of countries that will not tax you on income that you earn in their country. So if you start a business there, even if you are not technically a resident, they're not going to tax you on that income. There will also countries that will not tax you on capital gains. So if you invest in real estate, make a profit, those capital gains yours to keep.
Or zero.
At least that country won't tax it. The US will still tax it because the US, Uncle Sam all is what's his cut. A lot of times the property taxes internationally are a lot lower. So in some countries that we found, it's between 0.5 and 2% on the unimproved land costs. Even if you add a $500,000 house, your tax rate is still going to be on that raw land cost. And then another fun thing is that there's an international 1031 exchange. So you've heard of the 1031 exchange in the US where you flip a house, take the profits, put it into the next project, and you don't pay taxes on that money until you stop. Well, the same thing internationally. You can take money, invest it in a condo in the Dominican Republic, sell it a few years later, take that profit and invest in Thailand. As long as it's not brought back into the US, that money is free and clear for you to do whatever you want with it. And there's so many more places to do stuff with out in the world outside of the US.
And by the way, guys, these are the things that we've learned as we're investing internationally. Please, please, please consult your attorneys and your tax advisors to double check our info, okay? Internationally, there's also a lower cost of entry. Like there's a 3-2 that we saw in Belize, and we'll be talking about Belize. I mean, it's for sale for 165,000. I cannot find, and it's like 50 feet from the beach. So try to find something 50 feet from the beach at that price, 3-2s. You're just not going to find it here in the States. Internationally, you can oftentimes find seller financing a lot more here. Here, you're trying to talk about low money down, no money, like with the banks, low down payments. Here, internationally, we don't have to do that.
Yeah, you don't have to deal with the banks. You don't have to deal with the underwriting process. A lot of times it's just you negotiating with the seller, going through a title company and making your payments. And it's really literally as simple as that. And oftentimes like with the seller financing, or if they are foreign friendly banks, a lot of times the requirements are a little bit more lenient than in the US.
Yeah. So I'm saying it's just easier to get into internationally. It's just got to get over that fear factor.
Yes.
And because there's lower entry costs, and because a lot of these countries are tourism based, and if you're doing hospitality, if you're doing short-term rentals, cash flow is just phenomenal.
Another great perk is when you invest internationally, especially in real estate, you're going to have free vacations. Well, at least housing portion. And then when you go, because you're checking on your business, you can write it off on your business taxes. So you essentially get a little free vacation.
Correct. And it's not all rainbows and unicorns out there, right? A lot of times when you go to invest in an international country, there's a language barrier. I mean, if you go to Mexico, it's Spanish speaking. If you go to Asia, if you go to Koreans, right? But here's the thing, like, if you're going to invest internationally, I would highly, highly recommend that you choose one where English is either the official language or it's widely spoken. If you don't do that, I would definitely get an attorney who is bilingual and one that you trust that's going to walk you through the transaction, right? Because if you can't read the contract, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're getting into.
There is often a knowledge deficit, which is probably why you signed up for this challenge, because you want to learn what are the pitfalls, what are the things that are different in other countries. So whenever we travel, even when it's for personal travel, we always try and look into the real estate of the country that we're visiting, talk to the locals, talk to real estate agents in other countries, and figure out, how does the process work differently than you might expect in the States, and what are the different laws that you have to look out for.
For example?
For example, yeah, we looked in Zanzibar. We went there for a honeymoon. And there's some great opportunities there, but the way titles are held, you have to have somebody who is a citizen of Tanzania to sign off with you. And then you are leasing the land from them for 99 to 200 years. Like, it can be as long as you want, but it's not you owning that land or that real estate. And so you have to think about, are you willing to put your trust in somebody else to kind of have your back on those sort of deals? And so that's the kind of stuff that you have to look out for.
Correct. And then like Costa Rica is a leasehold, right? So you can buy the land, but you own the land for about 99 years, and after the 99 years, it goes back to the Costa Rican government. So you don't own it in perpetuity.
Yeah. And then distance managing. If you do not plan to move or live to the place where you're investing, you're gonna have to develop a team, maybe the boots on the ground, whether that's a true management company or whether that's like you're cleaning and you make friends and there's other expats there that will help you with your management.
Two other things, you gotta make sure the government is stable. You definitely don't want some civil unrest where you're investing, okay? And the other thing is that you want the currency kind of tied to the American dollar. You want it to be very stable.
Yeah.
If it's not the American dollar, at least the euro.
Yes. Oh, right. So those are some of the pros and cons. We'll take questions at the end. And so now we're going to talk about some of our current projects that we're doing. So we picked Belize for our international investing, and here are some of the reasons why.
In Belize, English, believe it or not, is the official language. It is the only Central American country where English is the official language. They also have a fee simple title, which is based off of British common law, which means that you actually own the land, just like a resident Belizean. You own it in perpetuity. You can pass it down from generation to generation to generation. It is yours forever. The Belizean dollar is tied to the US dollar 2-to-1. So when you go to Belize and they're saying, hey, it's 10 Belizean, it's $5.
Yeah.
Right? It's just divided by 2. The Belizean government is very stable. There's no threat to housing bubbles because the banks don't use the fraction banking,
Yeah.
right? So everything that they loan out, they actually have in bank, in house. So there's no risk of like foreclosures or anything like that.
Yeah. The caveat to that is that Belize banks are not usually foreigner friendly. So they have higher interest rates. They're very strict about who they loan to. So they're kind of hard to acquire if you're not a resident or a citizen. But it's solved by a lot of seller financing. So the majority of deals that you find in Belize are going to be seller financed or all cash pay.
And I think we're right here. We're just talking about an example of the property taxes. So in Belize, if you buy a $10,000 parcel of land, the unapproved land is about what?
$50 a year.
$50 a year.
And that's it. And it'll remain $50.
Even if you build a mansion on it, you build $1 million mansion on the property taxes remain $50 a year.
Yeah. So these are just some of the reasons why we picked Belize. Also, it's really close to the US. It's only about a 2 to 3 hour flight from most places.
Mhm.
They've just added a direct flight from New York. So our New York people, head on down. We'll meet you there.
JetBlue.
So this is one of our first deals that we did. So it's a 10-acre parcel on one of the islands of Belize. And so it's going to be built next to a future airport strip. It's right here. And so the plan is to subdivide that land into 59 parcels and sell each of those parcels for a profit. We're not literally doing anything physically to the land, just drawing new lines on the map. And
No infrastructure is needed.
yeah. So the purchase price is 700,000, and we're expecting a return on investment of 10 times, so about 7 million when all is said and done.
We've also just bought some land, and we are currently building a secret beach hostel. The construction and the land was costing us a total of about 700,000. I know these are big numbers, right? But you got to remember there's owner financing. So we put about 5 or 4% down.
Yeah.
Right, and we got an interest rate of 4%. And they're holding the note. So we're able to do this very, very cheaply. I know it's not like we forked over this amount of money out of our pocket.
Yeah.
We're literally financing the entire amount.
So for the hostel, the construction portion, we're expecting about 500 to 550 costs for that, and that can be done over time in phases. So even if you are starting out and you're like, oh man, it's going to take a lot to construct, you don't have to do it all at once. And then once it's rented out and making money, we're expecting about $250,000 a year in revenue. So that's return of investment about 15 to 24% on this particular project alone. Right. And then here's the plans. We did have to get with an architect. That process doesn't change no matter where you are if you're going to be building from scratch. We can take a look at that.
It's about 50 beds.
50 beds. And see, here's the elevations of what it's going to look like. Pretty excited about this one.
It's a cash flow monster. Okay, so here, the reason you guys are with Devon right now is because of hotel investing. We are doing a boutique hotel on Secret Beach on the west side of Ambergris Caye. It's the bluest of waters, guys. Do we have a picture of that later on?
Yeah, I have a picture of the water at the very end.
To the land and the construction total is a large amount, but again, we got owner financing for the land. We're doing a raise for the rest of the amount. Our management costs are somewhere between 25 to 40%. Our restaurant food costs are about 30%. Retail maintenance is about 15% per month. Our total revenue we're expecting just from the hotel and the rooms that we're renting is 1.2. The restaurant, the rooftop restaurant that we are constructing, the revenue on that is 950. The retail, we have 3 retail spaces at the bottom, is about 60,000. Total of 2.2 million yearly revenue.
We're expecting about an average daily rate of $590 at 50% occupancy, and that is on par when you look at the different types of hotels that are on this island. That's on par with the higher end. The average daily rate that you'll see advertised by their tourism board is lower than that, but that's taking into account like the hostels at the low end that are like $25, and then you have higher end stuff up to like $1,200 a night. So this is about right in the middle of the higher end stuff.
This is the same area that IHG and Six Senses is building their multi-million-dollar resort and on-water bungalows.
And okay, so we're going to show you our renderings that our architect just sent us literally yesterday. So this is our boutique hotel concept based on the 4 elements. So earth, water, fire, and air. Small boutique, it's 15 rooms, so very exclusive experience for the guests. The second level will have infinity water pools and swim outs, and then a second pool on the lower level for people to enjoy as well. The rooftop restaurant you can see up here, and then each level is designed after a different element. So the bottom level is earth. Yeah, makes sense. Second level is the water, the third level is fire, and the top level is air. And these are 3 bedroom, 2 bath family suites up at the top. Okay. That. Very proud of it.
We're very excited about this project.
Right. Okay. Here, this photo, you can see the waters of Secret Beach. This is the best photo I could find, but it's like beautiful blue turquoise, and it's on the east side of the barrier reef and on the east side of the island. So you have like basically 0 waves. You can walk out like 200 yards and it's like 3 feet deep, super calm. So it's very family friendly.
Cool. So go back to the drawing, the rendering. So guys, this hotel is available for anybody who really wants to invest internationally, and you actually have an opportunity to own a part of this.
Yes.
If you guys have any questions, we're here to answer anything. International doesn't have to be about a hotel. It could just be about an Airbnb. It could be about buying land.
Yes, hi.
Hi.
Hi, how are you? I am Tyrone Green. I'm out of New York City. And I'm glad to be on first of all. But some of the questions I have is I guess if you're not used to investing into hotels and Airbnbs and things of that nature, I saw some of the pros and cons, but the question is, what's the minimum investment? What can we lose within investing? What can we gain within those investments? Is it better to do hotels over Airbnbs? I mean, I know I'm throwing a lot of questions out there, but as I'm thinking is how I'm, communicating. So again, it's more like I know people that live in Belize, that's from Belize. They don't live in Belize,
All
they live in
right.
New York, but they're from Belize.
Okay.
I have a couple of friends and I've never been, I've been dying to go, but in the same sense, I feel like I think it's interesting to invest, but I'm still a little nervous because I don't know the complete package or the picture.
Yeah, of course, of course. Like with any investment, there's always risk, right?
Hmm.
We're building the hotel with knowing that there is a slight risk, but knowing that the number one thing in Belize is tourism, and that Ambergris Caye is the number one island for tourism. What do we say? It's like five. One out of every five visitors to Belize goes to Ambergris Caye and goes to Secret Beach. So we know the tourism is there. We know it's there because IHG and Six Senses is building a gazillion-dollar hotel there.
Yeah, Four Seasons just bought their own island just off the coast of this island to build. There's
Two Marriotts,
two Marriott.
two Hiltons. Margaritaville just built a hotel, like all within the last 2 years.
Yeah.
This is happening. The infrastructure is just exploding there. That's why we're trying to get in on the ground floor. Is there a risk? There is a risk. I know that with the hotel, there's at least going to be a 2-year hold on the investment. And I know, but your prefs are stacked, so that if you're in early and you get our pref, that your pref will be prorated as we go. So even though you won't get the money that year, the moment that it does make profit, you will get it all back. It'll be prorated back to you.
I would say if you're not familiar with hospitality, even like US hospitality, then it's probably a good idea to go in as a limited partner to start and sort of like learn the ropes, get an idea of like what to look for, because there definitely has been people scammed internationally, not gonna lie. You can search it all day long and people is like, oh, I would never do it because you just don't know who you're dealing with. That's always a risky take, even in the United States. Like we've been scammed in the United States. So
Contractors walk off with money. It just happens, right? You got to go. You got to interview. You got to do your best. We've been to Belize. We set up the team. We've got the real estate agents. We've got the architects. We've got the contractors. We've got everything in line. So if you're kind of worried about doing it on your own, you want to just piggyback off somebody who's already doing it. Then you learn the ropes. You learn the ins and outs of that country. Then you can go off on your own and do anything that you want to do in that country. You'll learn the basics off of us.
yeah.
So we're going to Belize in June.
Everybody come in June.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what your other questions were.
Just minimum
Um,
investment. That's all.
Oh, minimum investment for
Depends on which investment.
which investment?
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you're talking about the hostel, or if you're talking about the hotel,
Both of them.
both of them. So hostel probably minimum is going to be 25. And then hotel probably be 50 to 100.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. Let's see, we got here.
Oh,
Can you get a commercial
commercial
loan
loan.
or the
the
whole deposit on the
with
seller?
seller financing has to be cash. Okay, so you technically could get a loan for your deposit. That's a little bit tricky. Technically, you could. I would say that if you're going to use a U.S. bank to go for a commercial loan for an international investment, there might be some hoops to jump through. We personally haven't done that.
I think you would just have to get a personal loan in the U.S. to bring your money, or do a self-directed IRA.
Yeah,
Those things kind of like
loan
to
against
invest.
your insurance, that kind of stuff. Would probably be a safer bet. But a lot of times with these seller financing, you can negotiate. So if you learn how to negotiate well, your deposit, you could say like, hey, I'll give you a higher price point and maybe, a bigger balloon if you work with me on the down payment. A lot of times the down payment is honestly just covering the real estate
Commissions.
commissions. I can't think of the word.
Minimum investing starting point, quarterly returns. Right now on the hostel, it is quarterly returns. Right now on the hotel, is annual returns. Good questions though. Any other questions about international investing?
Oh, I gotta scroll down.
Mhm.
Give me a second.
I'll say there's some questions in the chat. It says how long
Yeah.
the
How long does construction take? So for the hostel, we're doing that one in phases. So we're doing one building with the 2 dorms. That should only take about
6 months.
6 months. And then the hotel, the build time, because it's
From ground to done is 2 years.
2 years. And then how often do you go down to supervise, manage the build? So we will probably be going down
We go down quarterly.
quarterly. But we also built some really great relationship with some of the expats and locals down there that supervise these types of builds.
Yeah. We have great friends that are down there. They live there. They're expats, so they're going to be watching our properties as we are not there. But we go down quarterly. We have weekly meetings. We have weekly Zoom meetings with everybody. We go over the process and what in the progress that's happening right now.
All right. Any other islands you plan on starting hotels in? So yes, we're looking at the DR. But we're also trying to find stuff like Belize where it's not quite hit that turning point yet, because like a lot of people have flocked to DR, a lot of people have flocked to Panama, a lot of people have flocked to like Tulum, Mexico, and so we're trying to find those places that are gonna be those hit places before everybody gets there.
You try to invest in Tulum now, it's just overpriced. You can't get into it at a decent rate.
Yeah.
Can't get into Phuket, Thailand for a decent price now. Maybe we can find a distressed hotel. We could do some things like that. So we're definitely looking.
It's in the plans.
If we wanted to invest with you,
If we wanted to invest with you, what do we do? Oh, so just email us at that email that we have up right now, kavanfund@gmail.com. We are hammering down all of the costs for the hotel and the boutique and finalizing the press and all that stuff on the raise. So
but you'll get you'll get our prospectus, you'll get our PPMs, you'll get a term sheet, a subscription agreement, and then you'll get all that. And then once you turn that in, wire your investment, and then we'll just get you the contracts back, and then you're an owner.
we're actually going there in June to see the project as well for those who are interested. We're taking it, so stay tuned. We're finalizing the details, but we're taking a trip to Belize in June. Ooh, show your property again. It's so pretty.
Oh.
Yeah. So let us know if you're interested in coming and seeing the property. Well, we want not the property because it's not there yet, but you know the area because they're still
yeah,
developing.
the area it'll
But
be
for
in.
the folks who are interested in seeing Belize and seeing what you'll be investing in or could potentially be investing in, we're
This is
taking
the
it.
one, yeah. This is probably the one that you'll probably see being constructed as you come in. The hostel.
Yeah, the land is currently being filled right now, cleared and filled.
Yeah, we're setting up the foundation now. This one, we're doing the raise to build. So this is a conceptual drawing. And then this one is still available. We only have like a couple more spots for anybody to invest in on this one. So this one is easy. This one we already have the PPM. We can send you, if you send us an email, we'll send you this one plus the subscription agreement.
Yeah,
That's really hard to say.
this one minimum is also 25. So if you wanted to, this one is probably the best rate of return, honestly.
And the quickest.
And the quickest. This one will be done in about 5 years.
Okay, I'm interested in that one. And I'm sorry, I apologize because I don't know how to see whatever you were talking about as far as your emails and all that. I could just see what's on the screen here. I'm not computer savvy like that.
No worries.
okay.
We'll go back to it. But here, this one right here, man. Literally, we already own the land. We're already going through the Belizean government to subdivide the 59 lots. As soon as we get the title for those 59 lots, our realtor Morgan will sell the first 14 lots to get everybody's initial investment back. So the very first 14 sales will be only to get your money back. Once you get that back, we're going to sit on this land just for a little bit until the airport starts being built. When that starts being built, then all the land starts to skyrocket.
Yeah.
Once that skyrockets, then we'll start selling it for a higher price. That would be your return.
When you do international investing, do you find insurance coverage stateside? So I will say
We have insurance in Belize.
yes. insurance in Belize. I'm sure you could do supplemental insurance stateside. But I would just keep it in whatever country that you are investing in.
Yeah, there is actually homeowners insurance and all this stuff in Belize.
Thoughts on starting one in Jamaica. So I guess it depends on what part of Jamaica. I know Kingston City proper is not usually like the best tourist destination. And I know that a lot of it is already developed out. So if you wanted to get into Jamaica, it would probably be in a fund that's considering purchasing a hotel that's in distress. But
But if you find a deal and you want to bring it to us, we'll definitely
Absolutely.
look at it.
yeah, I think Jamaica is a great place to invest. I visited personally about 4 or 5 times. I love going there.
Mhm.
I think it's a solid tourist destination that I don't think is going to change anytime in the future.
It's just a matter of finding the right deal.
Yes.
Natural disaster insurance. Yes,
Yeah.
they have the homeowners insurance. So, by the way, like we're talking about what hurricanes.
Yeah, there's no hurricanes. I mean,
There is, but it rarely hits Belize. Therefore the insurance is really low in Belize.
yeah.
We checked that out. I was like, man, I don't want to get hit.
We looked at that. We were like, Caribbean hurricanes. And honestly, like one hasn't hit there in like 40 years. It's a very, very rare. There's a lot of real estate land advertisement,
Yes.
DR.
100%. We have a couple of friends who've invested heavily in the DR.
Yes. And it's a great place if you can find the right. Again, it's all about just as you would do in the States. It's about analyzing the deal, finding the deal, but the great thing about international is that there's more wiggle room to negotiate with the seller. Just in my opinion.
Yeah, Monica, if you want to know more about the DR, email me. I will put you in touch with one of our partners who's doing a lot of deals in the DR.
And they're doing like condo complexes. They're gonna sell like all of that kind of stuff. Grenada, Guyana. My mom is actually from Trinidad, so she loves going to Grenada and Guyana. I think those are probably very much not as well known. So those are probably similar to Belize, where if you get in early, it'll be cheaper, but it'll probably be a longer hold to see a good return on investment. So that is something to keep in mind if you're gonna go someplace that's remote that people don't know about. Because I guarantee you, if you talk to an average person and say Grenada, they're gonna be like, "Where is that?" So that's sort of like the catch-22. If you're gonna go someplace that's not well known, be prepared to hold for longer. 10 acres with 3 houses, asking $250. I would say that's a good deal.
Yeah.
That's a good deal.
You want us to look at it? Is that what you're saying? If you do, send it to me. I'll look at it.
Process of hiring an international team, what systems you use to check on them. So a lot of it is word of mouth. You are gonna have to go there and make the connections with people, network, find the trustworthy people. Find those chatty Catholics that know everybody's dirt, because they will tell you.
They'll tell you who's not doing the stuff they're supposed to be doing, who's doing the right stuff, who's the good ones, who's the ones to trust, and we go with those.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just trial and error. Sometimes like you'll have to go and you'll meet with them a couple of times, and then you'll get a good feeling. Just go with your gut here. Yes.
Yes, for sure. Try to find 10 acres in the US for $250,000. You're not gonna find it. And then, a lot of great things, we forgot to mention this. A lot of things great about international investing is that there tends to be, I'm going to say tends, it really depends on the country you're going to, there tends to be fewer restrictions, like zoning restrictions. Where, like how in the US they'll say like, this plot of land, you can only do commercial, or you can only do residential.
You can only build 5 units.
Yeah.
You
can only build so high or so how. A lot of places that are, less developed, they're going to be like, it's your land, do what you want with it. Here are some setbacks.
Yeah.
And that's it. Build within these lines. And
I mean, literally right next to our hotel is like I think it's like 4 cabanas that are Airbnbs. That's fine. Right across the street is a beachfront bar, so it's very commercial.
So that's a great thing about international, is that there's tends to be less restrictions on what you can do with your land. There's always going to be restrictions on, like, you have to get your proper licenses, to function just like you would in the US. if you needed like a rental license or a liquor license, if you plan on having a bar, health inspectors, all of that stuff is the same. So
This one says, is it better to hold onto the hotel long term after, or exit as soon as you profit and get your investment back? Plus, it all depends on your goals.
yeah,
It all depends on what you want. For us, we're long term holds.
yeah, we build and hold. That's even our short term rental. He's tried to convince me at least 3 years in a row to sell some of our properties, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm a long term hold girl. I like seeing that appreciation. I like having that consistent cash flow. But if you're the person who's like, you prefer that flip and that quick buck, and you want to build, stabilize, and sell it, that is absolutely,
If you wanted to do that,
yeah, that's a great way to do it too.
This hotel will not be doing that, but you could do that. I don't know how many times have you guys ever invested into a property and you've looked at and you sold it and you've looked at it like 5, 6 years down the road and you're like, how much is it worth? And you're like kicking yourself in the butt for selling it back then. That's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, and it depends on your situation. Like if you were like, I do this and I need like the quick cash now to put into other projects that I think would be better, you know, then
Do it.
do it.
Excuse me, Kamika, can y'all
Yeah.
put y'all contact slide back up? Cause people keep asking
Oh.
how to contact y'all. Yeah,
Very end.
There we go.
here we go.
Can you see it? I have the chat right over it, so I want to make sure it's not like blocking it.
It's cabanfun@gmail.com.
I entered the hospitality industry last year as a host of apartments in Austin, Fort Worth. I want to continue building my portfolio with units internationally. So it's time with you. Yeah, so the ones that we have up, we have our hotel that will be coming up within the year. That's a fundraise. The hostel, we're breaking ground right now, and then we have our land deal that's still open and available. So all three are available for investment.
We have 3 more opportunities coming that we have not listed here, but you'll probably only learn about those if you come to Belize in June.
We're gonna
Keep them a little secret. A little secret.
Email again is Caban. Here, I'm gonna type it into the chat. cabanfund@gmail.com. I don't know if you can sticky it. Oops, that was a direct message. My bad. Hold on. Send to everyone.
One word.
There we go.
If you guys will email us, we'll start sending you out all the information about everything that we're investing in.
When in June? Oh, Devon has those dates.
She's going to announce it soon.
The people who signed up for the challenge will get it first. There's not that many spots left.
That's true.
It's already, we haven't even fully announced it in, because the people who came with us, the first time we went to Turks, they get first dibs. And then the international challenge, and then we'll release it. So thank y'all for signing up. So we'll let y'all know when we go to Belize. Trust me, y'all will know ASAP. Probably within the next week or so.
Oh, that'll be a really nice Valentine's. We work.
Yep.
We work on Valentine's Day, unfortunately.
Yes, that's right. So Teresa, she came with us to Turks and Caicos.
Uh-huh.
And so, yeah, so I'm sure she'll be coming with us to Belize.
I sure will. You know I'm there.
Yeah, yeah. Any other questions? This is exciting, man. Like, I'm glad you guys are opening up the mindset here for international investing.
I have one question.
Yes.
My question is, for the hotel, have you looked at looking at working with the brands like Marriott, Wyndham? Have you looked at that instead of just going independent?
We just talked to Devon about that today.
Oh, okay.
We just talked. Oh. That's a very good question, Teresa.
When are we going back to it? So we're going in
Okay.
March for
Mhm.
ourselves to check on all of our properties, and then we're going again with the group in June.
If you want to come in March,
We're
Oh, they're coming in June.
coming in June. We don't have any spots left in March.
You know that, Bruce. Yeah, it's going to be the end of June probably.
yeah.
We just had to switch the date, so that's why. So we'll get it to y'all ASAP. Trust me, y'all will know.
June is the time to come.
Before
Happy
look,
birthday.
before
Happy early birthday.
oh, who birthday in June? Oh, shucks. Oh, sound like we about to have us a little birthday, little celebration in Belize. Okay.
Whose birthday is it?
Birthday.
Yeah, I would say international investing, it is almost the same process as you would do in the US. You're going to do your due diligence. It is a little bit harder to do the due diligence, obviously, when it's a place that you haven't been. So I would recommend,
Go in there first.
go there first, talk to people, because once you get into a place, like you can go on their internet. Because when you like go to another place, like it takes you to like that country's internet. Does that make sense? Their websites, like so you can go to their Zillow and their stuff and see the listing and sort of get an idea of what the real estate market is there. And it's a little bit easier to make those connections.
In Belize, there is no MLS.
Oh yeah, some countries don't have an MLS, so that's fun.
So it's all everything being sold is word of mouth. So literally, I have like 10 realtors contacts, and they literally email me or text message me every other day about a property. Mm-hmm.
So don't be shy like me. He does all the talking most of the time.
So y'all get ready. Go ahead. Yes, it's
Get it ready.
Get ready the end of June. So it looked like we're gonna be celebrating some birthdays in Belize. So we'll have to add that to the itinerary, Bruce.
Yeah, birthday party.
I got you.
Love it.
I got the perfect restaurant. Or a rooftop. I got a rooftop too. Alaya.
Oh yeah, I don't know that.
Alaya has a rooftop.
Any other questions?
All right, any other questions?
I didn't think if there's anything we forgot to mention.
Not rooftop.
Yes.
Are we scared of heights? Are we scared of heights?
Oh, off the rooftop. Okay, maybe not then.
All right, well, great. If y'all don't have any other questions, well, thank y'all so much, Bruce. Thank you, Kamiko. Let them share some love in the chat. See, I'm glad y'all showed up for day 2. Y'all wasn't expecting all these gems at all.
Juan's bringing it all.
Now y'all brought it. I'm just, hey.
You got the connects. So like, look, so you're bringing everybody. I love it.
Now, thank y'all so much for tuning in. That's Bruce and Kamiko's information. If y'all want to learn more how y'all can invest with them, stay tuned. I will let you all know once we open up spots for the Belize trip in June of 2024. So definitely stay tuned.
Kamiko, hers is, yeah.
Oh, we're close.
It's
Yeah,
close.
close.
All right, guys.
All right. Very nice meeting
Bye.
everybody.
Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Ty. See you guys.
I'm your host.